Happy Thursday, everybody. Meteorologist Hunter Forst here for the Weather Desk. We do this every weekday starting at 9 o'clock on the 13 News Now Plus app. And we have today's top weather headlines as we go throughout the next 30 minutes. And we're going to take a look at a few things, especially the weather conditions going on in D.C. this morning after that awful crash late last night. We're going to also take a look at the rain in California. They're going to see another atmospheric river heading their way for the weekend, along with some severe weather for portions of the South, including Texas and Louisiana this afternoon. And as we head into the day tomorrow here in Hampton Roads, it's going to be a warm day. Temperatures around 70 degrees, but that's going to come with some rain showers in the morning, but we'll clear out for the afternoon. But we'll see more of those showers heading into Friday evening. But first, breaking news out of Washington, D.C., where first responders have been searching for survivors after a regional American Airlines plane and a Black Hawk military helicopter collided over the Potomac River. It happened just before 9 last night, grounding all flights out of Reagan International Airport. For the last 12 hours, national and local agencies have been helping with search and rescue efforts. But within the last hour, the D.C. fire chief announced they do not believe they will find anyone alive. We know 64 people were on board the plane and 3 soldiers were inside the military helicopter. At the first time at the crash site, the flight was preparing to land at DCA after flying in from Kansas, while the military helicopter was on a training mission. The D.C. fire chief says crews are facing several challenges while searching the icy waters.
The water that we're operating in is about 8 feet deep. There is wind, there is pieces of ice out there, so it's just dangerous and hard to work in. And because there's not a lot of lights, you're out there searching every square inch of space to see if you can find anybody. Divers are doing the same thing in the water. The water is dark, it is murky, and that is a very tough condition for them to dive in.
Yeah, as we take a peek at the satellite radar right now for Washington, D.C., the good news is they're seeing clear skies, clear weather. The winds are rather calm as well. As we take a peek at the satellite radar, there's really not much to worry about this morning in regards to the weather. It is chilly. Temperatures are in the mid-30s. And the river is cold as well. The river temperatures are around 36 degrees. So if you're in that water for a long period of time, it doesn't take that long to get hypothermia. Here are the temperatures around the area right now in Washington, D.C. They're sitting at about 42 degrees, and temperatures today will get up to right around 50 as we head into the afternoon, and they should stay dry throughout the morning and into the afternoon today. You'll notice temperatures in the mid to upper 40s for a lot of the area. Once we get into the evening hours, we'll see that increase in cloud cover and temperatures will fall back into the upper 30s by this evening. And you'll notice rain showers move in overnight tonight into Friday morning, and it's looking like for D.C. on Friday, it's going to be a washout. It's going to be raining pretty much the entire day on Friday, and they could see some heavier downpours. Temperatures only in the mid to upper 40s to right around 50 degrees for the afternoon. And then by the time we get into Friday evening, we're still seeing those showers lingering in the area before we start to clear out for late Friday night into Saturday. And temperatures Saturday morning still chilly in the mid to upper 30s with that north wind bringing in that cooler air from areas up towards the north. So here's the weekend for D.C. 42 degrees on Saturday. It's going to be chilly, but mostly sunny. And as we head into Sunday, a little bit warmer, temperatures around 50 degrees with partly sunny skies. Now I'm going to move on to our next topic for rain in Northern California. But before that, I am going to talk about what's going on a little bit further south in North Carolina right now. Crews are battling wildfires in the western part of the state. Those fires have grown to 250 acres in McDowell County, just outside of Asheville. So far, the flames are 15% contained, and evacuation orders will remain in place until crews get the fires more under control. The wildfires actually just come a few weeks after the wildfires devastated Southern California. Firefighters there spent more than 3 weeks trying to contain the flames, and as of this morning, the Eaton and Palisades fires are almost 100% contained. The fires destroyed entire neighborhoods near Los Angeles, scorching a combined 37,000 acres and burning more than 16,000 structures to the ground. Unfortunately, 28 people have died. And while the flames are under control, rain brought a new concern to Southern California. Earlier this week, parts of the region saw mudslides like this one in Topanga near the Palisades. California is expected to see more rain heading into the weekend from another atmospheric river. Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandagis explains what that means.
Atmospheric rivers, a familiar weather pattern that is much more common on the West Coast than here in the East. But what exactly is it, and why is this such a unique occurrence that brings about such significant impacts? An atmospheric river can be identified on satellite imagery using the water vapor filter. This depicts high levels of moisture in the low and mid levels of the atmosphere. So what exactly is it? Like an actual river on land. An atmospheric river is a large, narrow, and continuous band of moisture, in most cases originating from tropical latitudes where moisture is more readily available. On average, this giant band of water vapor can be quite narrow, only 200 to 400 miles wide. This conveyor belt of moisture then pushes inland, encountering enhanced terrain or mountains, forcing that moisture to rise and condense, producing prolific rainfall amounts and, if cold enough, snowfall rates. Depending on how long they persist, these atmospheric rivers can be responsible for highly impactful weather events, including floods, mudslides, and blizzards. For 13 News Now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandagis.
As we take a look at the satellite radar right now for the United States, it doesn't look like there's much going on in California right now. In the United States, we're seeing showers in Texas, parts of Arkansas, down into Louisiana and Oklahoma. That's where they're going to see some severe weather today. But if you look at California, you may be wondering, where is this atmospheric river? Well, it's way out in the Pacific right now. And you see these plume of clouds approaching the California coast. That's what's going to be bringing all of this rain to portions of Northern California heading into the weekend. Here's a look at the European model, and you'll notice heading into Friday, here comes that plume of water from Seattle into Portland, down by San Francisco as well. And it's going to continue to push into California heading into Saturday and Sunday. And you'll notice, look, it looks exactly like what Tim was mentioning, that atmospheric river bringing a ton of rain to portions of Northern California. Not just rain, a lot of snow in the mountains off into the west as well. And even as we head into Monday, still rain in Northern California. Once we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we're going to continue to see a shift of this pushing down into Central California and eventually heading more into Southern California from San Francisco all the way down into Los Angeles as we head into Wednesday morning of the upcoming work week. So again, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You really want to see the rain for portions of Southern California, but that causes those mudslides in those already burned areas. When you have vegetation that's burned, it doesn't have the strong roots that are hooked into the ground like it does when it's alive. That's what helps keeps the soil in place. But when all of that vegetation is burned, you don't have that structure holding the soil in place, and that's what the rainfall can help destroy that soil that's already there and make it tumble and turn into a mudslide and fall all the way down those mountains into people's homes, onto the streets. So again, you want to see the rain because of the fires, but you don't want to see too much at one time where it causes all of these mudslides. But again, going to see that rain into Southern California by Wednesday, snow in portions of the mountains of California and Nevada as well. And that's going to linger throughout really the day on Wednesday before it clears out by Wednesday night. Here's a look at some of the rainfall totals, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches up to 6 inches in a few areas of northern California. A little bit less as you go further down towards the south. But then once you get to about Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, you head down to Southern California, you could see up to 1 to 2 inches in Santa Barbara, a half an inch to an inch in Los Angeles, up to a half an inch in San Bernardino and Lancaster, up to an inch as well, even down in portions of San Diego where they rarely see rain, even though it is the rainy season for this area. They could see up to a half an inch of rain heading into next week. So something you want to see for that area because of the fires, but don't want to see too much at one time. A lot of snow potential as well for portions of northern California, especially up in the mountains. Could see anywhere from 2 to maybe 3 feet of snow in some of the areas, especially for areas around Lake Tahoe, just to the west of Reno. A lot of snow in areas of Oregon, still up to 2 to 3 feet possible. And you're going to see that snow all the way up in areas like Nevada, Idaho, Salt Lake City, Montana. A lot of snow system coming with this atmospheric river. But that's great news for all of the ski areas. They want to see all of this snow in those areas because it just helps keep that season going and going and going. But here we go with the next topic, severe weather in the south. And that's exactly what they're going to see today in portions of Texas and Louisiana. Here it is out there right now, just bringing a lot of heavier downpours into Dallas, Houston. There are some flood reports in portions of Dallas earlier this morning. Up into St. Louis, this is the system that's going to be heading to the Hampton Roads area as we go throughout the day today and into tomorrow as well. But the good news is it's not going to be bringing us the severe weather like they're going to see today and a little bit into tomorrow as well. Not seeing much in the way of reports right now. We're seeing one flash flood warning in portions of western Arkansas, and then we're seeing another winter or flash flood advisory just to the south of Dallas as you head towards portions of Austin. And then you'll see that little yellow polygon just to the south. That's a severe thunderstorm warning in portions of central Texas. So there are a few warnings with this system, from severe thunderstorm warning. So there's probably some gusty winds, hail with that storm, and you're seeing some heavier downpours, which is why you have those flash flood warnings in portions of western Arkansas. And that's not going to be it. We're going to see flash flood warnings from Texas up into Oklahoma, Arkansas throughout the day today. The severe weather risk isn't just that. You also have the flash flooding risk along with the severe weather risk, and even a risk to see tornadoes as well. Here's a look at some of the storm reports in downtown Dallas. A lot of flood reports, like we were saying. It's going to be a lot of rain throughout the day today, and even as we head into tomorrow, as we get closer to portions around southern Georgia, Alabama, the panhandle of Florida. They could see a lot of rain as we go throughout the next day as well. But again, just affecting portions of Texas right now. And as we take a look at the severe weather potential over the day today, this is put out by the Storm Prediction Center, the SPC, and you have a few levels of severity. So you have the green, which is the isolated severe weather. You have scattered, which is level 2, which is what portions of Texas and Louisiana is going to see. Numerous, widespread, very widespread. So the biggest threat is the darker pinks, the reds, and then it gets a little less of a threat as you get down towards the oranges and the yellows. So this would be a level 2 threat for this yellow here in portions of Louisiana and Texas. A little bit less of a severe weather threat in areas of the green, still a threat nonetheless, but it's just not as widespread or not as a high risk compared to the areas in yellow. So areas in yellow, scattered severe storms are possible. You could even see 1 to 2 tornadoes, strong winds as well, and damaging hail is possible up to an inch or maybe even 2 inches as we go throughout the day today. Heading into tomorrow, we're going to see the severe weather risk shift a little bit more, going towards portions of the panhandle of Florida, southern Alabama, and southern Georgia. And you'll notice this is just a green blob, which is the isolated level 1 risk of severe weather. So it's not a huge risk for tomorrow, but a risk nonetheless for these areas. not a high risk of tornadoes like we'll see today. A lower risk of a tornado or two, winds 40 to 60 miles per hour, and you could see some hail up to about an inch with some of those storms. Another thing I want to look at, a reason why there's a chance we could see a few more tornadoes today in portions of Texas and Louisiana, is because of the wind shear. Now, these are the winds at the surface of the ground right now. And you can see right here, that is the cold front for sure, because you're having the winds shifting up from the south. Behind the cold front, you have the winds coming in from the northwest. You get that clash right here. And then when you get the clash, you get those winds or that lift in the atmosphere, which is why you're getting some of these storms along that line. But also what can happen with storms like this is when you have a wind from the south at the surface, and then you go a couple thousand feet up, you have winds coming from the south and the west compared to just the south. That is what the wind shear is. Wind shear is a change in wind speed or direction with height, and that's exactly what is happening here. The stronger the wind shear, the more chances you have to see tornadoes. You have that spin in the atmosphere with the winds going like this, and in between you kind of get that spin, and that's what can cause tornadoes, and that's exactly what we have. You have the right ingredients today in portions of Louisiana and Texas to see that threat, and this is a big factor of why or where or and how you could see tornadoes starting to form. Heading into the afternoon today, we're going to continue to see those showers and storms throughout Louisiana, pushing into Mississippi, eventually into Alabama and Georgia, portions of Florida as we get into Friday afternoon. And then it's going to continue to push off towards the west or towards the east as we head into the weekend and eventually to us here in Hampton Roads. That's when we're really going to see some of that warm weather and rainy weather. Good news is it's not going to be rainy the entire day on Friday. So in the afternoon, it's going to be mostly dry and it's going to be warm, up to 70 degrees. Taking a live look outside in our Thompson Creek Skyview cam, it is a beautiful morning, but certainly feeling much chillier this morning than what we were feeling like yesterday. Temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 30s, or they were this morning. Right now, they're in the mid 40s for a lot of us, but the winds are calm, which is great, because when the winds are super gusty like they were yesterday, it makes it feel much more uncomfortable walking around. But luckily this morning, you don't really have to worry about the wind, but it will come back heading into tomorrow. Satellite radar right now, we are dry, we are clear, there's barely any clouds in the sky, and it's going to stay sunny really throughout the day today until we get into the evening. Then we'll see that increase in cloud cover. Low temperatures this morning, it was a chilly start, below average for this time of year. Our normal low for January 30th is about 33 degrees. And at Norfolk, we were 28 this morning. We were 22 in Emporia, 25 in Williamsburg, a little bit warmer in portions of eastern North Carolina in the low 30s, 33 in Manio, and 33 degrees in Edenton. So again, it was kind of a chilly start to our morning. But as we go throughout the day today, they're going to rise into the upper 40s, right around 50, 51 degrees. 46 in Norfolk right now, 44 in Hampton, 43 in Virginia Beach, and 46 degrees in Elizabeth City, 41 in Wakefield, 39 degrees in West Point, 40 in Melfa, 49 degrees in Edenton. So it's a chilly start to our day, and compared to this time yesterday, we're about 5 to 10 degrees cooler. So we're 9 degrees cooler in Newport News, 11 degrees cooler in Wakefield, 12 degrees cooler in Emporia, 10 degrees cooler in Wallops Island. We're the same in Manio and pretty much the same in Edenton, but we're about 8 degrees cooler in Chesapeake, 8 degrees cooler in Virginia Beach this morning. Throughout the day today, we're going to see plenty of sunshine as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures rising into the lower 50s, about 52 degrees for our high, mostly sunny for the next couple of hours. But again, you'll notice by the time we get into the evening, that's when we're going to start to see that increase in cloud cover, temperatures dropping back into the mid 40s. And then we're going to start to see some rain showers moving in as we go throughout the next couple of days. Now, I also just wanted to mention before I get into that, there's also something exciting that researchers from NASA found as well. Researchers say they found what could be the key to how life on Earth began and flourished. They found that the key by sifting through some of the little piles of dust. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimber with the latest.
A breakthrough discovery from NASA, a sample from an asteroid holding the building blocks of life.
The samples contain salts that formed in a liquid environment like a lake or maybe even an ocean, and organic molecules that are central to all life on Earth.
NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft returned 4 ounces of dust and pebbles from the asteroid Bennu, the biggest cosmic haul yet from beyond the moon. Researchers found amino acids and nitrogen in the form of ammonia. Scientists say it's the strongest evidence that asteroids may be the reason that life developed here.
This is telling us that not just the water, but some of the building blocks of life actually were seeded onto Earth and other planets.
And while this breakthrough might help solve why we're here, it raises other questions.
How did life on Earth originate? And also, what is the likelihood that there is life elsewhere in our solar system?
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Isn't that stuff so cool? I love space like that. Such a mystery of how everything came about. Wonderful. I love stuff like that. But back to the weather here in Hampton Roads. Heading into tonight, a mild night. We're going to be in the lower 40s for lows and even going to get warmer as we go throughout the night. And temperatures waking up tomorrow going to be already warm in the 60s for some of us, upper 50s. But we're going to see some isolated showers tonight between 10 and midnight. Then we're going to see more moving into the area, especially for portions north of the south side by 3 o'clock this morning. Tomorrow, look at that high, 70 degrees. It's going to be feeling like April, mid-April, heading into the afternoon. But it is going to be very, very breezy, gusts up to about 30 miles per hour, similar to what we experienced yesterday. But luckily today, we're not going to see that wind until tomorrow. Here's a look at our futurecast. Throughout the day today, temperatures in the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. Then we see that increase in cloud cover heading into the evening. And then by 9, 10, 11 o'clock, we're going to see some of those isolated showers pushing through. For a lot of the area will clear until about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, but you'll notice a lot more of that rain pushing into the area, especially north of the state line. So if you're, in the south side, if you're in Suffolk, you're in Chesapeake, south, a lot of you could get in on being dry for the morning and into the afternoon. But if you're in Williamsburg, Cape Charles, Gloucester, even portions of Ocean View, Virginia Beach, Ivor up towards Petersburg, you guys will have a rainy start to your morning. But throughout the next couple of hours, you'll notice by 11 o'clock, it continues to push up more towards the north. So by noontime, 1 o'clock, a lot of us are starting to get dry for the afternoon, and temperatures will be in the 70s for a lot of us. But by the time we get to about 6, 7 o'clock Friday evening, maybe you have a late commute, that's when we start to see the showers pushing through from the cold front. That's what's actually going to give all of us those downpours, maybe even a rumble of thunder or two. But you'll notice at 7 o'clock tomorrow, temperatures are in the upper 60s, pushing 70 at 7 o'clock, 68 in Norfolk, 66 in Hertford, 66 in Roanoke Rapids. Here we are at 10 o'clock, between 10 and 11. A lot of those scattered showers for a lot of us, even some heavier downpours, especially early Saturday morning. Heavy downpours from Virginia Beach down into eastern North Carolina, indicated in those oranges and yellows. Once we get to about 7 o'clock in the morning, we should start to clear out. If you have any plans Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, we're in the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. So still another mild start to the day on Saturday. We just won't warm up much from there. We'll stay in the lower 50s for the entire weekend, but still average and where we should be for this time of year. Here's the rainfall potential for portions of eastern North Carolina and portions of the south side, up to an inch, a half an inch to an inch for a lot of us, maybe a little bit more in isolated areas. Further up towards the northeastern shore, you guys could maybe see up to about 2 inches, because I know you guys will see the rain for a longer period of time as it progresses more up towards the north and then swings back around again heading into Friday evening. Tappahannock up to 2 inches possible. West Point, Cape Charles up to an inch. Newport News, the peninsula could see up to an inch or a half an inch of rain. Heading into the weekend, we dry out for Saturday, 53 degrees, a 20% chance of showers. That'll be earlier in the morning. So before about 6 o'clock in the morning, if you're going out early, could run into a few isolated showers. But after that, we'll clear out. Temperatures will only be in the lower 50s, which is really average for this time of year. Our average is about 51, 52 degrees for the afternoon, which is where we'll be for Sunday. Partly cloudy skies, seasonable for this time of year. A little bit of a cooler start on Sunday morning. Temperatures in the mid-30s, but this is really a typical January weekend, which we haven't seen much of this entire month because we have just seen well below average temperatures every single day, besides the last couple of days. But the first couple of weeks of January were frigid. But here's a look at the next 10 days, and we're going to see a little bit of a shift, a little bit of a change. 70 tomorrow, that'll be great. We drop it back into the lower 50s for the weekend, and then we're back up to the mid-60s by Monday. It's kind of like we're having an average 10-day temperature trend, but then we're going to sprinkle in a few warmer days. That's kind of what it's looking like. Besides, by the time we get towards the end of next week, we could be in the 60s for a few days. And then it's looking like another downtrend into the 40s as we head towards the end of next weekend. But over the next couple of days, we'll enjoy the warmer temperatures. Not looking like we're going to see any 20s like we did last week over in the foreseeable future. Temperatures just at or above average. As we take a look at the 7-day forecast, 51 degrees for today. We're going to see those showers moving in later tonight, lingering into Friday morning for a lot of us. We're going to clear out for the most part in the afternoon on Friday. Temperatures will be warm, around 70 degrees. That's going to be great. So if you have any lunch plans on Friday, you might not even need your umbrella. You could wear shorts, a t-shirt. It's going to be great. That's what I'm going to be wearing. But then by the time we get to about 6, 7 o'clock, we'll see the back end of the system coming through the actual cold front. That'll bring in our showers really for the rest of the evening on Friday. It's going to be a pretty rainy Friday. Good to see a movie, stay in, order some food. And then as we get into the weekend, we're clear but cooler. Temperatures are in the lower 50s for Saturday and Sunday. Few isolated showers possible Saturday morning. But we're good for Sunday, 52 degrees, and then we're back up into the mid-60s for Monday. Not a bad start to the work week. But then as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures coming back down again into the mid and upper 50s, but still pretty average for this time of year. So overall, not a terrible 7-day forecast. Could be much worse, could be much colder. We'll take it, especially that 70 on Friday. Fantastic. We love to see it. But again, thank you for joining me here on the Weather Desk that we do every single weekday, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. Craig, again, is off this week, so you had Taylor and myself, and you'll have me again tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I appreciate it. Tomorrow is Friday. It's the end of the work week. The weekend is coming, and we're going to enjoy it. Thanks again for joining me.